G'day everybody, Sean from Bourbon Brothers here. Welcome to our November tasting videos. We're looking at our second bottle here, the High West Rendezvous. So our High West Rendezvous from the High West Distillery comes out of a very non-traditional market in Park City, Utah. So it's imported by Constellation Brands here. It's a blend of High West's own distillate and then product from MGP. It comes in at 92 proof, doesn't carry an age statement, but it's a blend of straight rye aging in age from 4 to 7 years as per the company, which is a big change from where it used to be, which we'll touch on in just a little bit. High West blend Rendezvous from straight rye whiskies with high rye mash bills that give it a unique botanical and spice character, with notes of honey, mint, molasses and dried fruit for good measure. Rendezvous's not chill filtered, it's a choice that keeps its natural oils intact and allows for a full-bodied finish. High West Rendezvous Rye is the company's flagship rye, and it was once a year-round release, named after the Rendezvous, the first recorded whiskey fest out west, and 1820s mountain men gathering in Wyoming and Utah's Cache Valley. The company has been slowly introducing more of their own pot still distillate into their brands. Notably, the company's mash bill contains that 20% malted barley, which is relatively high for a rye whiskey. Rendezvous Rye has evolved, or perhaps de-evolved depending on how you look at it, over the years. Once containing ample amounts of 6-year-old and 16-year-old rye from Barton in its blend, it helped the brand stand out from just about every other rye on the market 7 years ago. Over time though, High West, most likely out of necessity, has changed Rendezvous Rye's blend to contain much younger ryes. What once made the whiskey so unique now has started to resemble the majority of the ryes in the market, at least on paper. Gone is the balanced flavour profile of sweet and spicy with a heavy oak backbone of Rendezvous Rye's yesteryear. Instead, it's replaced with a flavour profile that doesn't quite resemble its earlier iterations. Leaning heavily on a herbal and botanical flavour profile, the whiskey has almost more in common with gin than a rye. So as of 2021, High West has announced that Rendezvous Rye would become an annual limited edition instead of a year-round release, and see a label change that features artwork from rotating artists. So the 2021 release features art from Ed Mell. In the USA, the new limited release sees USA retailers charging $70 for it, as opposed to previously about $55 a bottle. It's not that the whiskey doesn't have anything to offer, but uniqueness can sometimes only get you so far, and can even straddle the line of being polarizing. Rendezvous Rye is still a good whiskey, but is it worth $70 US? It probably would have been better to simply call it something else, truthfully. Yet there's a certain amount of intrigue to watch how a company is forced to change its product due to changing market conditions. The 2021 Rendezvous Rye is a shell of its former self. That doesn't mean it doesn't have anything to offer. It's no longer the king of the hill, and instead it's been forced to reinvent itself. So now we've learned a little bit about the Rendezvous Rye and the blend of High West's own distillate and the high rye product from MGP. Let's give it a shot. So probably a rust on the colour there, and the legs medium in length. So you really hit up front with that bouquet of herbal scents, and it's subtle and it's airy. You get that aroma that's got sage and lavender and mint and fresh grass when it's crisp. There's light oak and caramel that help add some weight to the nose. It surprises and it pleases. On the palate there, mint and pine up front, an orange that creates some interesting and surprising openings to that sip. It works well in conjunction with the additional lighter notes of oak and cranberry that are present. That finish, the light oak hangs around with some chocolate and mild cinnamon to get right to the point in that finish. It's a slow ramp up of heat, and it begins to take hold late in that finish. So that's the Rendezvous Rye, our second pick for November. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you're enjoying your journey. Cheers. So High West comes out of that traditional, or maybe not, area. So High West from High West Distillery comes from that traditional, or maybe not, area. What am I trying to say? I should just write shit down.
What are you trying
I
to
was
say?
trying to say that it's Park City, Utah. Bourbon coming out of Park City, Utah. Alright. Rendezvous Rye has evolved, or Papsley.
Papsley. Is that a new one?
Plays footy for Sydney, I think.
Should be Carlton.
I hate making it easy for you.
Thanks, bud.
Right. Rendezvous Rye is still a good whiskey, but is it the $70 US dollar good? $70 US dollar good. God damn it. Rendezvous Rye is still a good whiskey, but is it $70 good? Oh, I'm just deleting that line.